It's time for my next book, and I am reading The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Have been seeing this book everywhere for a long time. I don't even know when it came out. But like everyone that I watch, every time I see a book review, someone has just read it. So I'm like, I need to know what everyone's talking about. I don't read too much historical fiction, but I'm not like against it. I read it every once in a while. And from what I've gathered, this is like World War II, kind of focusing on the women. But yeah, I have been seeing it everywhere, and I went thrifting at my local like book thrift store, like used bookstore, and they had this for like a big discount. It's a little, it's basically looking kind of new. Doesn't really show on camera, but there's a little bit of wear and tear, but it still is like a great condition, so I had to get it. And yeah, I'm excited to read it. It's only like 450 pages-ish, 450 pages, but it's kind of short. Like, that's actually a small size book. Like, this isn't next to my head for reference. So I think on a other like size, it would actually be bigger. But anyway, I'm excited to get reading, and kind of once I start getting my bearings on what this book is about, I'll give some updates. Okay, so I'm kind of having a hard time getting into this one, but I just happened to be watching like someone reading, and she was reading another Kristen Hanna book. It was The Women, or The Woman, or The Women, or whatever. And she said, she was like, oh, it's moving a little slow at the beginning, but like I know that it just takes her a little bit to like get things going, and then it gets better. And so that was the motivation I think that I needed, because I'm on page 63, so not like too bad, but hopefully it starts getting a little bit quicker. We'll see. Okay, we're on page 100, and Isabel has agreed to join this resistance group to pass out newspapers encouraging people to fight back. And you're just, even when you're like, okay, this is a reasonable form of resistance, it's like much more useful than just going up to a soldier and being like, I hate you. Like, what is that going to accomplish? Even still, you're reminded that she's like 18. Well, they go back and forth. Well, I think one time they said 19, but besides that, I think they said 18. But you're just reminded she's so young, because she says, oh, she knew she should be afraid. They told her often enough, but it was ridiculous. The Germans threatening death for handing out a few pieces of paper. She could talk her way out of it if she were caught. She was sure of it. Not that she would get caught. It's just so naive, and it almost like undercuts all the good work she's doing. Does that make sense? Because it's like, yeah, she's doing this, but also the other people part of this resistance are aware of how much danger they're in. They're taking these precautions. They're not scared. They're still doing the work, but they're aware of the repercussions if they're caught. I feel like she's just kind of like, the reason they found her is because she was going up to a poster and just putting a big V on one of the like Hitler posters, which is fine, but like, it just like, I know I keep saying, but like, what is that going to accomplish? You're just being stupid. There's a difference between resistance and just like trying to get yourself killed for no benefit. Like, if someone sees that poster, they're just gonna be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of frustrating to see her risk the lives of people around her just to be like, for the purpose of her being headstrong. Because, like I said, I really respect the resistance, and I really respect the people around her who are like enlisting her to do this and getting this stuff. but it's really hard to read her perspective when she's so naive about it and is just convinced, like, oh, if I get caught, like, they're not gonna kill me, like, I'll be fine, I'll talk myself out of it. No, like, you will be probably executed. I don't know. She's just, like, so young and in denial that it's, like, almost kind of comes across as kind of annoying instead of, like, fearless. And I think that's what I'm struggling with. But like I said, the sister isn't, like, she's frustrating also because she doesn't want to do anything. Like, she didn't even want to hide their valuables. So, like, they're both frustrating in different ways. And I feel like it's intentional. I hope. But, I mean, I guess I'll see as it goes on if it's intentional. Okay, so Villette was asked by one of the officers to write down all the school teachers who were, like, Jewish, communists, etc., everything they were looking for. And she actually did it, which I shouldn't be surprised because that's been her whole, like, philosophy this whole time, is just don't upset anyone. And it's so annoying. But thankfully, at least Isabel is, like, actually, I feel like, doing beneficial stuff. Like, she's going to Paris to deliver letters to help, like, them fight back. So that's good at least. But I can tell, like, Villette feels really bad about it. But it's still, like, she put her best friend's name down on there. And it's like, oh, girl, be so for real. But it's also hard to, like, get the, like the hindsight bias out of yourself, because it's like, I know now, like, why they wanted the names. She doesn't know the name, why they want the names, but she still kind of knew it wasn't, like, good. So anyway, hopefully she kind of, I feel like Isabel is kind of trying to balance out. I hope Villette kind of balances out and they kind of meet somewhere in the middle, but we will see. Okay, so little update. Villette has lost her job as a teacher. She questioned why they were dragging someone out of the school and they fired her. So she now has no job. She ran out of the money that her husband had left, Antoine, and has no way to provide for her kid. The soldier that is staying in her house, I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but a soldier came up and was like, I'm gonna live here. And she had to be like, okay. Has kind of implied that, like, he would make sure that the daughter would be, like, that they would be fine. Because he kind of, I think, feels a little bad for her. But, I'm trying to think. Oh, Isabel is living in Paris. She went back to Paris. She's, like, delivering letters to these people, and then she is going to, like, start doing more for them. She's starting to chill out, so I like her more. Like, someone from the, like, I don't know what to call them, like, the rebellion, sat her, like, they were talking, and he was like, you're gonna get us all killed because you can't control yourself. And she was, like, kind of embarrassed, and so I think she's gonna kind of chill out a little bit and kind of be a little bit more secretive and more strategic with stuff. So I'm liking her a lot more. I like both the sisters a lot more. I feel like they're both kind of learning lessons. I'm almost about halfway done. I'm on page 179. So there's 440, so I'm about 50 pages away from being halfway done. But I'm liking the change that's happening, and it's also starting to pick up a little bit more. So I'm having an easier time, like, reading. I think I've read like 100 pages today. I think I have. So I'm still kind of like, I'll read for a bit and then kind of chill, read for a bit, chill. But yeah, when I am in my reading time, I'm reading for longer stretches than originally. Originally it was like a few pages and I'd stop, a few pages and I'd stop. Now it's about like, I'll read about 30 pages, kind of hang back, you know what I mean? That whole thing. So yeah, I'm excited to see more change happen, and I'm gonna get back to reading. They just dropped a statistic about how many men she had helped. She's been doing it for 8 months. She saved 87 pilots, airmen. 87. Isn't that crazy? They really just brushed past it very quickly, but I think that's so impressive. It's so insane. And it's like so crazy that this was like all her idea and that's how many people she saved. Oh my gosh. This is like the closest I've been. I'm not even like tearing up, but this is like the closest I felt emotionally to crying for a book in a long time. And I'm not even towards the end, which I thought I'm on 260. I forget her name, Vianne. Her friend Rachel. Rachel and her children are Jewish. And Rachel is like foreign-born Jewish, which is what they're targeting right now. So they're beginning to round up these people and send them to camps. And so Vianne, along with like the soldier who's been living in her house, are trying to smuggle out Rachel out of like the country to try and save her, along with the children. All of a sudden, I don't even know what triggered it. They just like started firing on all, like, because everyone was standing in line with their papers to leave. All of a sudden, they just started firing on all these people. And they're all running back to try to get back to Vianne and make it back to get away. And Sophie, the young daughter, is shot and she dies. And I don't even, like, I'm just so shocked. I was so convinced they were gonna make it out. I just like don't even have words. Like Rachel. They took Rachel and I like don't even have words. Vianne took Ari, the baby, from Rachel because Rachel like begged her to. And so Vianne's left with this baby and Rachel has been sent away. It's like bad thing after, it's like, oh my gosh. I actually like did tear up for a second. I just like don't even have words. I'm starting to second guess that Isabel is the one who is the old lady at the end. I'm starting to think it's Vanette because so she's adopted Ari, Rachel's baby, as her own, and she's the police officer living in her house got him like fake papers by the name of Daniel. So I feel like Daniel is the son that's with the old lady, unless Isabel has kids later on. There's something I love about the book is that you're like constantly wondering who is it at the end that's like the old lady, and I really feel like it could be either one of them, and so I'm like constantly like, who is it? But I love this element of the book, and I've heard that she does this in other books where like she has multiple people where it goes back and forth and you don't know who the people in the future are versus like the past. So I really like it. I got the confirmation. It is Isabel. That is the old lady. Because it went back to the future and they called her asking if she was going to be attending the event. And she was like, it's not me they want to see. It's like that old version of myself that doesn't exist. So I'm on page 297 and I don't think I'm going to finish tonight because it's getting kind of late, but I've made a lot of progress today. I think I've read like 250 pages. Made it to page 331. I actually feel like I could stay up longer, but I'm not going to because it's just such an emotionally draining book that while I have like a lot of like energy and I was like, I could totally stay up, I just need a break, because I mean, that's the whole point. It's supposed to be a lot, and I knew it was going to be a lot when I started it, but it's a lot. So I'm going to take a little break and go to bed. But I will definitely finish tomorrow. I only have 100 pages left. So I am really enjoying it, though. I definitely think it's a 5-star for me. I think I need to adjust my scale because my past 4 books, this will be my 5th book in a row that's a 5-star. And this is like not common for me at all. So I think I need to adjust my scale, but I'm gonna do it after this book, and then I'm gonna like sit down and like, I think, put actual like, what am I trying to say? Like descriptions of what each rank is and try and like make things a little bit more strict, because this is like I said, this is the 5th book in a row, and I think I need to start being more strict, but this isn't the book that I want to be more strict on. So, like I said, it also could just be the books I'm picking, because when I think back, I'm like, which books would I lower down? I don't think I have one. Like, I've just, I think, had really good luck, and my ratings already tend to lean high. I just enjoy reading. I can't help it. And I obviously have low rating books, but I just rate high in general. I'm just kind of like, even if a book is not written that well, if I enjoy it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would recommend it to someone, I think about it, to me that's like a 5-star. But I think I need to kind of adjust my rankings a little bit. We'll see. So Isabel was arrested and caught, but they don't think she's the Nightingale. They keep saying, we know you're working for the Nightingale, who is he? So she's being like tortured right now, and she says she couldn't last 2 days. This was the risk everyone had warned her about, the terrible truth of what she'd been doing. How had it seemed like an adventure? She would get herself and everyone she cared about killed. And I still think that it was a good thing that she was kind of naive about it, because she saved so many people. Unless she's not able to, because the whole thing is like, wait 2 days to spill to let them get out of town. That was their plan. If someone gets caught, hold out for 2 days. So she doesn't know if she can hold out for 2 days. The old woman isn't Isabel, it's Vanette. Oh my goodness. And I'm assuming the son, I think, is the son that she has at the end of the story. Oh my goodness. I really liked this quote. So her son's asking why he never told her any of the stories, and didn't tell her anything. And she says, men tell stories. Women get on with it. For us, it was a shadow war. There were no parades for us when it was over. No medals or mentions in history books. We did what we had to during the war, and when it was over, we picked up the pieces and started our lives over. Your sister was as desperate to forget it as I was. Maybe that was another mistake I made, letting her forget. Maybe we should have talked about it. I really like that, and it kind of goes back to what it said in the description of the book, that it's about like the women's war, and it really has been, because they both fought, but in very different ways. But both were like equally, they both saved people. Vanette was saving children from like mothers who were being taken away, and Isabel was saving airmen. And at the second that the war ended, they both had to just move on. And this whole time, Vanette has been thinking about her son, like, he knows me as a mother, but he doesn't know, like, the life I had before, so he can't ever really truly know who I am. And I kind of think that's like supposed to be like the theme of all of these women, is that they all went through all of this, but at the end of the day they just had to return to life as normal, and their like heroic acts were just forgotten. I am done. I finished the whole book. I feel like I've said everything I wanted to say. It was so beautiful and tragic and sad and just like perfect. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I truly have no notes. I also loved that the old lady was Vanette. I really loved that because they wanted you to think it was Isabel, but I dropped it. It made her death more sad. I didn't cry, but I almost did, so I see why everyone's like, oh my gosh, I cried at the end, because like, if I could cry for a book, which I just can't, like, I can't, I don't know why, but it would have been this one because I was getting a little choked up. Everything that they wrote on the back, I like agreed with. Great characters, great plots, great emotion. Who could ask for more? Beautifully written, packed with action and emotion. Like, soon to be a major motion picture? Let me look. Telling me the Fanning sisters are the sisters in here, and I didn't know. I have got to watch this immediately. I'm like shocked that I haven't heard about this movie, and this was perfect. I will need some time before I watch the movie because this was very emotionally taxing, as was the point. But anyway, I've already said this a few times, but I'm going to say it one last time. This was a 5-star, and this is like amazing. I couldn't have asked for anything better.